In the small village of Sunsong, surrounded by beautiful green hills, lived a young potter named Kai. He had a unique talent and was very good at making pots. He dreamed of one day selling them far and wide, seeing his pottery adored in the grand halls and modest homes of distant lands. Kai, however, was as trusting and open-hearted as he was skilled. He was a very kind person, but he was also a bit naive. He believed in the goodness of everyone around him, even though some of his closest friends were not truly supportive of his craft. Kai's friends often laughed at his big dreams and made him doubt himself. They acted like friends, but secretly didn't want him to succeed. One of these friends was Einar, a weaver who had always admired Kai, but who had also been a bit jealous of Kai's talent, although he never showed that openly. As the village prepared for the annual Festival of Lights, a great opportunity came for Kai. A merchant visiting for the festival had heard of Kai's talent and offered to help him sell his pots in far-off places. Kai was excited and hopeful and proudly told his friend about the offer. But Einar had other plans. He suggested they have a big party the night before Kai was supposed to meet the merchant. Einar said it would be fun and help Kai relax, a night to calm your nerves and fill your heart with joy before your big day, he said. Kai, not seeing the true intention behind the invitation, agreed. The party was lively and fun, but it went on too late into the night. Einar made sure Kai drank too much, hoping it would ruin his chances with the merchant. The next morning, Kai woke up late and felt terrible. He rushed with making the pots and went to meet the merchant. As he arrived, he looked a mess and wasn't prepared. Some of his pots were flawed and out of shape. The merchant was not impressed and left without Kai's pots. Kai's big opportunity was gone, and he felt crushed. After this, Kai began to doubt himself even more. He wondered if maybe his friends were right. Maybe he was just dreaming too big. These thoughts made him very sad. But at least he still had his friends. He had always secretly been afraid to lose his friends once he would achieve his dreams, as they always made fun of him for them, so he happily kept spending time with them. This only made him feel worse, and slowly his dreams began to fade. After the disappointing encounter with the merchant, Kai wandered through the village feeling lost and unsure. His heart was heavy, his dreams seemed distant, and his trust in his friends had shaken him deeply. While walking by the river that skirted the village, he met an old woman named Mara. Mara was known in Sunsong for her wisdom and her gentle, thoughtful nature. She spent her days by the river, weaving beautiful fabrics that depicted the stories of the village. Seeing Kai's troubled expression, Mara invited him to sit with her. "What weighs on your heart, young Kai?" she asked kindly. Kai poured out his story, sharing his hopes, dreams, and how his friends made him feel about it. Mara listened intently, nodding thoughtfully as he spoke. When he finished, Mara sighed softly. "Kai, the company we keep can lift us up or pull us down. It's important to choose friends who support and nurture our growth, and who inspire us, not those who hold us back out of their own fears or jealousy." She picked up a twig and began drawing in the soft earth by the river. Imagine a garden where a beautiful young sapling grows. The gardener loves this sapling and hopes it will become a strong, magnificent tree. But in this same garden there also grows a weed. This weed, like a toxic friend, wraps itself around the sapling. At first it seems harmless, even protective, but slowly it begins to choke the life out of the sapling. The weed thrives while the sapling struggles to breathe, to find sunlight and nourish itself from the soil. Kai listened while starting to understand the parallel to his own life. Mara continued, "The gardener has a choice. He can leave the weed, thinking it's just part of the garden, or he can pull it out to save his beloved sapling. The action might seem harsh at first, but it is done out of love for the sapling, allowing it to thrive as it was meant to." "This is how we must manage our friendships," Mara explained. "We must be like the gardener. Recognizing the weeds, the toxic friends in our lives, is crucial. They may not appear harmful at first, and we might even be afraid of losing them, thinking we need them, but in truth they prevent us from reaching our full potential." Kai felt a lightness in his chest as he absorbed Mara's words. "How do I recognize these toxic friends?" he asked. Mara smiled. "Look for the signs and consider how you feel after spending time with this friend. A friend who constantly gossips, criticizes, manipulates, shows envy, or fills you with doubt about your own abilities. These are the marks of a toxic friend. They drain your energy and cloud your path. Kai nodded, understanding more clearly now the nature of his relationships. Mara's wisdom shone a light on his situation, helping him see the importance of choosing those who would nurture and support him rather than diminish his spirit. As the sun dipped below the hills, Kai thanked Mara for her guidance. He felt stronger, more resolved to make changes in his life. The parable of the sapling and the weed had given him a clear vision of what he needed to do to protect his dreams and his heart. Mara's story of the sapling and the weed lingered in Kai's mind as he left the riverside, a new sense of clarity guiding his steps. He returned to her the next day, eager to learn more about how he could cultivate better friendships. As they sat once more by the gently flowing river, Mara began to describe the 5 types of toxic friends, using the metaphor of a garden to illustrate her points. "Kai," Mara began, her voice calm and soothing, "just as a garden needs careful tending, so too do our circles of friends. Let me tell you about the 5 types of weeds, friends who are toxic, that you should consider removing from your life's garden. The first one is the gossiper. This friend is like the wind in the garden, carrying seeds of discontent far and wide. They spread rumors and share secrets, not caring where they fall or what damage they cause. Their words can uproot trust and sow seeds of doubt among friends. Avoid those who find pleasure in talking about others' misfortunes." The second toxic type of friend you can encounter is the critic. This is the overzealous pruner, who cuts not to encourage growth, but to control and reduce, likely because they project fears out of their own lives. This friend criticizes more than they encourage, focusing on your flaws rather than your strengths. While constructive criticism can be valuable, if it only tears down and never builds up, it becomes a tool of destruction in your garden. The manipulator is the third type of toxic friend. This type is like the ivy. It may look supportive as it climbs and wraps around your branches, but eventually it suffocates and takes over, leaving you no room to grow on your own. They use guilt, flattery, or deceit to influence you for their own benefits, not your well-being. The envious might be a more difficult type of friend to spot. Beware the plant that begrudges your sun and rain. The envious friend resents your successes and may even feel joy in your failures. They are unable to rejoice with you and might attempt to overshadow or stunt your growth out of jealousy. Finally, there is the shadow caster, the doubter who blocks the light needed for growth. This friend doubts your dreams and sows seeds of uncertainty in your mind. They might mask their toxicity under the guise of realism. But too often, their skepticism stems not from a place of genuine concern, but from their own fears and insecurities. Mara paused, allowing Kai to absorb the descriptions of each toxic archetype. Each of these types of friends, like weeds, can choke out the healthier, supportive relationships in your life. They can prevent you from blossoming into the person you are meant to be. Kai nodded, his mind drawing images of his own friendships that matched Mara's descriptions. "How do I handle them?" he asked, the weight of his question hanging in the air. "With kindness and honesty," Mara replied. "Communicate your feelings and set boundaries. If they cannot respect your growth or contribute positively to your life, it may be time to let them go. Remember, removing weeds isn't about hostility. It's about caring for your well-being and cultivating a garden that supports your growth." As the lesson concluded, Kai felt a mixture of relief and resolve. He understood that the process of nurturing a healthy environment for himself would require difficult decisions, but he was now prepared to face these challenges with Mara's wisdom in his heart. Empowered by Mara's teachings, Kai returned to his village with a resolve to reevaluate his friendships and protect his dreams. He spent several days in thoughtful solitude, reflecting on the relationships that made up the fabric of his life. It was a challenging process, filled with moments of doubt and hesitation, but Kai's desire to nurture his own well-being prevailed. One sunny afternoon, Kai invited each of his friends to visit him individually at his pottery workshop. It was here, amidst the earthen vessels bearing witness to his dreams, that he planned to reclaim his space and assert his needs. As each friend arrived, Kai greeted them warmly, yet with a newfound firmness. He began by sharing his aspirations and how important his craft was to him. He expressed how certain behaviors from his friends had hindered his progress and clouded his vision. To Einar, the envious weaver, Kai spoke with gentle honesty. "I value our friendship, Einar, but I felt held back by your doubts about my dreams. I need support and belief, not just from within, but from my friends too." With each conversation, Kai felt a weight lifting. He set clear boundaries, explaining that while he cherished their friendship, he could no longer entertain negativity in any form. Some friends were receptive and apologized, promising to be more supportive. Others, like Einar, reacted defensively, revealing their inability to accept Kai's growth. Mara's wisdom echoed in his mind as he navigated these interactions. Letting go is an act of self-love and protection, not of hostility. Kai understood now that distancing himself from toxic behaviors was not about creating conflict, but about nurturing his own potential. As difficult as it was, Kai found peace in these changes. He realized that true friendship should empower and uplift, not diminish or restrain. By the end of the week, Kai's circle had grown smaller, but much stronger and more genuine. He felt freer and more focused than ever, surrounded by those who truly wished to see him thrive. The lesson was clear, and one he would carry forward. We must tend to our personal garden with the same care and intention as we would a garden of flowers and plants. Just as weeds are removed to allow the rest of the garden to flourish, so too must we address the influences in our lives, nurturing only those relationships that genuinely support and enrich us. With his workshop now a sanctuary for both his craft and his spirit, Kai worked with renewed vigor. His pots, more beautiful and intricate than ever, began to catch the eyes of travelers and merchants once again. This chapter in Kai's life closed not with a sense of loss, but with a profound understanding of self-love and the courage to uphold it. His path to fulfillment was clearer now, not because the journey was devoid of obstacles, but because he had learned to cultivate his surroundings with wisdom and care. With the painful but necessary changes made to his circle of friends, Kai felt like a new season had dawned in his life. His workshop became a place of peace and creativity, where his true friends often visited, not to critique or discourage, but to admire and encourage his art. The energy around him felt lighter and his creativity soared, resulting in pottery that was more vibrant and sought after than ever. Kai's story of transformation spread throughout Sunsong and beyond, attracting not only new customers, but also new friendships. These were kindred spirits, artists and dreamers who shared his passion and understood the true essence of support. They exchanged ideas, celebrated each other's successes, and provided comfort during challenges. One evening, as Kai arranged his latest creations under the golden glow of sunset, Mara visited his workshop. She looked around with a smile, seeing the tangible results of the lessons she had imparted. "You have done well, Kai," she said, her eyes twinkling with pride. "This is what happens when we dare to tend our garden with intention." Kai nodded, his heart full of gratitude. "I've learned that letting go of toxic people isn't just about avoiding negativity. It's about making space for growth and letting in the light that helps us thrive." "Yes, my boy," Mara agreed. "And remember, it's not just about knowing whom to walk away from, but also knowing whom to walk towards. Tell me, who are the friends you cherish now?" Kai thought for a moment and then shared, "There's Lila, who brings laughter and lightness. She reminds me to find joy in my work. There's John, whose honesty helps me refine my craft. And there's Anya, who dreams as big as I do and helps me believe in those dreams." Mara nodded. "You see, Kai, these are the friends who add nutrients to your soil, who help you reach for the sun. They are the ones who celebrate your growth and stand by you in storms." As the stars began to twinkle in the twilight sky, Kai and Mara discussed the types of friendships that nurture and sustain us. They talked about the qualities of good friends: empathy, honesty, respect, and genuine support. "Going forward," Mara advised, "keep nurturing these positive relationships just as you would your pots, and always be open to meeting new people. Life's garden is vast, and you never know what beautiful new plants may sprout. The story of Kai's journey didn't end with him never encountering toxic people again. Rather, it evolved into a practice of mindful association and personal growth. He learned to recognize the signs of genuine friendship and to cherish those bonds. His life, once overshadowed by doubt and negativity, now blossomed into something beautiful, a testament to the power of letting go and choosing wisely. As Kai continued to shape clay with his hands, he also shaped his life, guided by wisdom and enriched by true companionship. His story, a simple potter's tale, became a lesson on the art of living well, surrounded by those who uplift and inspire.